Hey, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jared.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here to talk about the new Blink-182 album, One More Time. We did our first listen together as a group.
Yep.
And these are three friends getting back together, and we're three friends, so we figure what better way to enjoy it for the first time.
As you can tell by everyone's shirts except mine, everyone's a longtime Blink fan, also follows, the other projects they've done, Boxcar, Angels and Airwaves, Plus 44. So we're all very familiar. Jacob and I did, some music back in college, and we were largely inspired by Blink-182, so we're big fans.
And we thought it was appropriate to just consume it all at one time. I was thinking, we also listened to Up All Night together for the first time.
We did,
right?
Yeah. And for reference, we all sat down and listened to this together on speakers, and for any of the new songs except the ones we'd heard before that were released as singles, this was all new to us.
So our goal today is really capturing our first thoughts. It's a new channel. We're not doing this as some fan service. We're doing this for our own posterity and to revisit later on and see how our impressions turned out. And also maybe to share our thoughts with each other because we have very different perspectives.
They are much more musically inclined than I am. I am just a fan.
You can just like a song for liking the song.
And we're all grateful to have the album. Before we get into it, we're not going to do, just to get views, we're not going to say only positive things.
Let's be real. We're all fans of Blink. We all love them. We love the story. But we want to talk about things we like, things we didn't.
So we're going to go track by track, and we're going to rate every one of these songs out of 10. Some of us did more sophisticated metrics.
I had
Some of
multiple.
us had more emotional reactions to the song that we'll be sharing. The album leads off with
Anthem Part 3.
Something fans have been clamoring for 20 years now.
Yeah, I mean, so for reference, Anthem, I guess it would be Part 1, but it's just called Anthem, is on Enema of the State. And then Anthem Part 2 is the leading intro to the album Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. And then there hasn't been any additions in any of the albums since.
Anthem was the final song on Enema of the State.
Yeah.
Anthem Part 2 was then the next thing you really heard, I guess other than Man Overboard or something, but it was the next real Blink song. So it's not like they have some recurring thing where they come back to Anthem.
Yeah.
This is just purely for fans.
It is high energy. It's very drum heavy. You were talking about, it's clear that this was produced by the drummer. Travis Barker, I think, largely did most of the production on this.
And this does feel like it's intentional that they're trying to write Anthem Part 3. I don't think at the end they just titled the song that way.
Yeah. I think the beginning of it was definitely an homage to Anthem Part 2 with the instrumental. And so I have a bunch of metrics. I thought the instrumentation was good. There's interesting guitar riffs, very drum heavy, and you can tell it's Travis Barker's signature style. I just think my lowest score out of all of those was the production. It's not super great vocal clarity. It's kind of hard to understand some of what they're saying. It's an overall thing throughout the album, but the drums, they just mixed it to be very pristine and perfect, but you don't have a lot of that live drum feel. You don't hear the air in the room. You don't feel the difference in sound when you're hitting part of the snare versus the other part. So it's very uniform, the drum sound.
I don't know, I feel like the drums made an impact that I always feel. I feel like I really felt Travis being why everyone gives him so much props in this song. I don't know as much about it as you guys, but yeah, definitely this album feels a little bit harder to hear. I like the lyrics in this, and I gave it a 9 out of 10 because for me, and so I think I would be higher than Matt and you guys on this, but I really enjoyed this song. I feel like this is a song I will listen to later on and really enjoy, and if I was at a concert, especially with the drum at the beginning, I would know what the song is as it's coming on without hearing one lyric.
Yeah, so I think it's following the formula of Anthem Part 2 more than Anthem Part 1. Starts with clean guitar, and then it gets much dirtier, never goes back to that intro part. But it's a good kickoff song for the album. Obviously not a single, but a good lead-off track. I like, again, just hearing Tom's angsty voice after years of Angels and Airwaves. It is refreshing, and it does take you back. There's something very nostalgic about the way he sings this stuff. And I think the theme of Anthem is not necessarily the riff, the arpeggiated thing you're talking about, you did in Anthem Part 2, but it's really about degenerate therapy, where he's I stole the car, but everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
I'm having a rough time. It follows in the vein of those other anthems. I like this one. So.
I agree. I think it was a Blink song, not just a Tom song or a Mark song. It felt like one of their songs.
Yeah, no na-na-nas, which everybody was nervous about. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
What's a 10 out of 10 Blink song? Just so for them to understand.
Well, I'm a fan of the Untitled album. I think that is the pinnacle of the band.
Mm-hmm. Most popular songs are I Miss You, or Feeling This, or...
And I like dynamics in songs. And this album, not to spoil it, there's not a lot of dynamics happening. There's a bridge always, but beyond that, I don't get a lot of dynamics.
Sure, and I have thoughts on that later, but I won't. So we're already talking about this song a lot.
6 out of 10 is good, by the way. I'd say
Sure.
Anthem Part 1 is a 6 out of 10.
So my overall rating was 7. So you have 7, 6, and 9.
Yeah.
All right. Second song, Dance With Me. The third single off the album, I think. It was one we all heard, and it was a video. And I was surprised to find this as the second song, because these are 2 high-energy songs back to back.
It's very classic Tom with the intro pull-off.
Well, that's a throwback. I would say he hasn't done that
It's
much.
it's almost like Eminem's-ish. Like,
Yeah, that's more
started.
early Tom stuff. I think he did it on like Natives on Neighborhoods, but fairly rare in the Blink canon.
It was catchy. Thought the verse lyrics were okay. I didn't really love the chorus lyrics. I believe this is lowlights of this song for me, but overall I think even the production was better. You still had some vocal clarity. You could definitely hear what they were saying when they were singing. Yeah, I liked it. This was my tied for favorite song on the album.
It was also tied for my favorite song on the album. Well, highest rating. I was just looking back.
Yeah.
This one has the most energy, and the musicality of it's very strong. Great riff, great Tom vocal melody, and very danceable.
This is the Ole Ole?
Yeah, the chorus, which was originally actually the ending part. Changed it so that the ending 30 seconds was the chorus. He moved that to the end.
Yeah.
I like that because that is like classic Angels and Airwaves style, and they did that a little with Anthem Part 3 as well, where they saved like this 30-second climax, the message of the song. I mean, here there's not much of a message, but kind of having like this big, but like having a story resolve a little bit. I read Aaron Rubin, who's like the guy from Angels and Airwaves.
Helped with the production.
He said that in the second verse there's a guitar that it's through a Leslie speaker, which is a tribute back to the Untitled album when they used that. As a Beatles fan also, where they invented that trick, I love hearing that on this song, and it does give it a little more fullness, and you can just feel like there's more layers on this song than on most of the album. I feel like they spent more time on it. Don't know what the message is. That's my one critique.
Yeah.
I think even their other singles historically have had a little bit more of a message.
There's usually a lot of words jammed in the chorus. They aren't repetitive like that. I think they took the message from All the Small Things with like the na-na-nas and were like, people like that song, right? Let's just do like a really repetitive chorus. I don't think that was the message to learn. Like, I think people like that song for the windmill and the melody.
Ole, ole, ole. I really like that. I did. It was catchy. It was a catchy little beat. I agree with the energy. The energy is really high here. It's a fun song. A lot of my notes say like I like the slow parts. I don't know what it is. And it might be because we've talked about it slow, but the album's clarity, where those slow parts might be great. It's one of the only times I can hear the lyrics really clearly. Yeah. So I really like this song. I gave it an 8 out of 10, which I think
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
We all gave it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Overall, 8 out of 10.
Agree. This is pointless for you to watch. But I also think BPM-wise, we have to check this. I think it's actually one of the slower songs on the album, probably. Like, it feels rocking, and it's got a lot of energy. It's not like punk 200 BPM level. But I think it's all the songs on here are all crazy fast punk songs. And this is one of the songs that felt a little bit more grounded.
I mean, I can see what you mean. It's definitely but if you get too much faster of a BPM, then you can't really dance to it. Like you're just shaking your head. Like this, you can actually dance
got a
to. Like it's in
it has a backbeat,
and it's a memorable melody.
Yeah.
So you can. The next song, "Fell in Love." So this was the one that had the Cure homage from, at least in my opinion. So the Cure is one of their biggest inspirations. They're like the Blink to us, I guess. It's very poppy, it's catchy. I could see this playing on the radio. I think it could show up on the top 40. I think Travis sings a little bit on this. Overall, I liked it. This was like one of my top songs.
I agree. This is the kind of song that I would hear on the radio, but I wouldn't want to hear it on the radio. The hand claps, the na-nas, it feels a little like a leftover track from 9. I'm glad Tom's on it. I think the handoff is really nice. That would be my positive feedback on this. Like the handoff between Mark and Tom is smoother on this song than a lot of other ones where it feels like they just have to, like, they're punching in on the clock. All right, Mark, it's your turn. And I like the chorus, like the "Do you remember?" Like it's a nice little fills in, the story develops, and they go back to this chorus where it's like asking this question. But it's a little bit too by the book, a little too safe. I don't think they're taking any risks with this song. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
You're giving your overall score.
I wasn't blown away. I had no desire to pick up a guitar and learn this song, which is what I like about a lot of Blink songs.
It's not really like a guitar heavy song. It's not a melody. It's like a pop song, and they're just playing kind of basic melodies behind it. But again, for me, it being on the radio is a good thing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I put very punk, and I think I do mean like pop punk. I think it's okay to have variety sometimes that will grab other people, even if it's not their main objective, like that's not their main sound. I think it's okay to have songs that kind of grab other people in. And my rating was 7 out of 10.
Wow.
I think it's a good song. I don't think it's an amazing song. I enjoy it though, and that once again, it's harder with some of these songs that I haven't listened to yet 20 plus times. Yeah. I'll know more of my feelings once we get to that point. This is like
rebuttal. There's 17 tracks on here. I'm fine with this being on here, by the way. I'm not someone who's like, I can't believe Blink wrote this. I'm like, that's fine. We can have songs like this. Yeah. And also, following the lead-off 2 songs, there was going to be whiplash no matter what. Like, that energy and that pace had to change. This is where I got the whiplash.
I didn't feel whiplash. My overall score was a 7 out of 10, and I did enjoy it.
All right, there we go.